Before signing up, you boys ought to try a little taste of Dr. Ism's formula to see what you get in exchange for your freedom. Go ahead, try it.
You can't do this to me! I'll strike!
The state forbids strikes.
Wait till the union hears about this!
Ah, yes, the union. Welcome to our ranks, number 1313.
I'll take this case to the Supreme Court.
The state is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows. No more private property. No more you.
Well, if I'm voting for a stop to this.
Farmers don't vote anymore.
What do I do for seed next year?
You won't have to worry about next year. The state will do your planning from now on.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything!
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
Now, gentlemen, no violence, please. Don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles.
See, this is where your Constitution comes from. These are the people who wrote the Constitution. See, the Constitution used to be called the Magna Carta. It was written in 1215. That's when it was written. AD. That's when it was written. When they lied to you and tell you James Madison sat down and wrote the Constitution like he was so intelligent, that's a lie. That's a lie. No, they got it from the Magna Carta. That's where they got it from. And it was written by a melanated man. When they tell you the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, which was raping indigenous women, and Benjamin Franklin, they sat down and wrote it. No, they didn't. The Bill of Rights, all that came from Europe. The Constitution, where you get taxed and all of that stuff, all of that came from the Magna Carta, written in 1212. Look it up. Magda Carta. Look it up, and you'll see for yourself. They like these people was brilliant. They came here to kill and destroy and set up shop. Kill your people and then build over their stuff. And the people who they put in front of us, most of them people be foreigners. With the exception of like Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson was a Cherokee Indian. Is a Cherokee Indian. And then, see, when it's people like Jesse Jackson and these other indigenous people, they only let them live a certain amount of time. But Sidney Poitier was a Jamaican, and he lived to be close to 100. See, what they do for them, they're not going to do for you, because you are superior. And because you don't want to walk in your calling, they walk over you. Because you don't want to walk in your calling. You want to play the victim. Instead of saying, no, this is our shit. And see, a lot of these people that you see out here talking, a lot of these people you see in the Pan-African movement and other movements that talk against us, saying that we are indigenous, a lot of them is foreigners. A lot of them, they're not, and I'm gonna tell you this too, they have infiltrated themselves in our families.
Safety pilot were on board along with 4 passengers, one of them the head of a major Nigerian bank.
The deadly crash happened in the middle of the Mojave Desert just after 10 p.m. Friday night. 6 people on board, 2 pilots, 4 passengers, no survivors.
As far as we know, from what was reported from witnesses, that there was fire when the aircraft did contact the terrain.
On board, Herbert Wigwe, CEO of Access Bank, one of the largest banks in Nigeria. Spokesman for Nigeria's president posting on X, Wigwe's death is, quote, a terrible blow for Nigeria and Africa's banking industry. Wigwe's wife, Chizoba, and his son were also on board, as well as Bamifin Amibola Ogunbanjo, former chair of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The crash happened east of the 15 freeway near Halloran Springs Road outside Baker. NTSB investigators say they are looking into reports of downed power lines near the accident site and say they are also investigating if weather may have been a factor.
It was reported by witnesses that there was rain with some wintry mix. We currently have a meteorologist working on our team, and we're working to analyze and get the exact weather conditions.
The Airbus EC-130 is operated by Orbic Air out of Burbank Airport. Investigators say the helicopter taken off from Palm Springs headed to Boulder City, Nevada, outside of Las Vegas. According to victims' friends, the group was headed to the Super Bowl. Wigwe recently posting on social media, in part, quote, "Remember, life is a precious gift. Let us number our days." As authorities investigate the cause of the fatal crash, they are asking for help from witnesses.
We were aware that there were several 911 calls last night to report the crash from Interstate 15. And we'd like to ask any of those people that had witnessed that if they would reach out to us with any further information they may have.
The NTSB and FAA both expected back out at the crash site tomorrow as they continue their investigation, which they say will be very lengthy and thorough. A final report on the crash likely isn't expected for up to a year.
Welcome back, family. We're going to vibe tonight. Peace and blessing to the guys and goddesses of Planet Kai. We're going to get straight into it. Now, if y'all just watched that clip, you see Joey Biden, they posted this picture from his account right after this tragic incident. So family, before we dive deep into this or go any further, we must understand that this is a psychological warfare. Basically, it's a war against the mind right now. Your so-called elites, they understand the concept of energy harvesting and fear tactics, you know, to keep you programmed, to keep you in the deep state.
Stop it, war.
Deep into your subconscious. So now we got this rich-ass Nigerian family who lost their life on some ritual plane crash shit. Don't that sound familiar? Mind you, it said they were on the way to the Super Bowl. One of the biggest events of the year that's so far.
Nigerian billionaires were killed in a helicopter crash, allegedly on their way to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. I mean, this is really odd. The case is still ongoing, but let's get into it. Now, this is Hubert Wigwe, the co-founder of Access Bank, one of the largest banks in Nigeria. He was among the 6 people killed in the helicopter crash in California on Friday. Now again, his wife, his son, and a former president of Nigeria's stock exchange were all killed in the crash, along with 2 other crew members. Now, a lot of people have their suspicions on why this actually happened to this couple, because it isn't uncommon for billionaires to take their own private flights, but what was the reason? Could it have been a surplus of weight on the helicopter? Could it have been bad weather, bad timing? Who knows? However, one of the saddest things that I've heard thus far is that his son feared helicopter crashes, and just to know that this is something that happened to him is sickening. And what's even more suspicious is this aircraft did not have a cockpit voice recorder or a flight data recorder. I don't know if this is on some sneaky stuff or what. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below.
Now, let's go do some research together and go beneath the surface. Let's go deeper. So we got David Child here. He's associated with Orbit Air. This is the company that the Nigerians booked for their flight to the Super Bowl. So basically, these Nigerians, they were already here. They were already here in Palm Springs, California. They just booked a flight to Las Vegas. So let's get a little insight on this Orbit Air company out of California. I tried to find the owners, but I couldn't get no direct insight. Oh, but how I did find something on LinkedIn. And you see, family, I feel like when it's hard to find the people who own these companies, when you can't just look them up directly, it's some whole sinister shit going on with these people. Because why we can't, everything public records, why we can't look you guys up? We can look everybody else up, but there's certain people we can't find out who they are. So as we check out this page on LinkedIn, you can see the first names, the people who viewed the page. These are the list of people who viewed the page. And you got David Child II. And then you see Herbert. You see the Nigerian and a couple of more people who might be important on this list. So boom. Now we click on David Child profile. As you see, he has no picture up, but he's the president of Orbit L. Been the president for 17 years. So who is this guy?
And why can't you show your face? Why we can't see what you
Let's
look
get
like?
into something else though. We'll be back.
So who was Hubert Wigwe?
He was a Nigerian billionaire philanthropist.
For sure. He also was a co-founder of a Nigerian multinational commercial bank called Access Bank.
So this man was very, very wealthy, a billionaire preferably. He opened one of the best universities in Africa and started giving the indigenous people of his local government free admin. He offered thousands of people work to reduce poverty in his community. So this guy was a wealthy man. But we also must understand that anybody dealing with that type of money, whether they're a good or bad person, they're going to be around some crazy old shit, you feel me? They're going to be around some demonic individuals when you're dealing with that much money and power. And this man had just bought a $1 billion mansion in Locos. So this guy was a very, very, very rich banker, black. But you see in Africa, it's a lot of sinister shit going on over there, man. Even those people over there, they lost too. But a lot of them know what's going on. Wigwe was also a part of the CBN, aka the Central Banking of Nigeria. And one of my good friends over there in Africa, he told me that this man may have been killed by his aide, his security aide. And he said the CBN know all about it. Many of the top government officials know about it. Plus board members of the Access Bank. Basically implying that they all planned this together, allegedly. Then, family, they told us the crash happened after 10 p.m. But it looked like they gave us videos of 2 different crashes. Plus, it was too light outside for it to be after 10 p.m. Then, another news outlet told us that this wasn't the first crash out there in Cali. We also had a Navy charter go down. It was believed to be boarded by Caucasian soldiers. So this how they play mind games on us and desensitize us to a lot of shit. Because now we got a plane crash with white soldiers that happened first. Then later come the Nigerians. But it's all part of the play. It all made sense. So now we got the 2020 to 2024 glitch where the 49ers and the Chiefs played in 2020, and they also played again in 2024. We also got Trump and Biden running against each other again, just like in 2020. Then came the Kobe helicopter crash. Then after that, we had COVID. So what is going on here, family? We having the same events that took place in 2020 happen again in 2024. And we got a new plane, a helicopter crash. And meanwhile, with the billionaire Wigwe, could this have been a COINTELPRO operation where they got rid of the target and replaced him with with their very own member, with their very own squadron? These are methods of the CIA, family. The very own people who made him who he was took him out. That's how they do. Do your own research, though, family. Everything you see be some satanic, demonic, sinister bullshit. So now we got to understand that these are rituals being done certain parts of times of the year. And this is to harvest your energy on this earth. You feel me? The earth is breathing. It's a living, it's a deity. So family, we got to start doing our research on these things. Do your research on the people who own these companies. Just like Island Express Air. This the company that Kobe Bryant used. And if you notice, according to Wikipedia, these folks ceased operations back in 2020, right after the Kobe incident. They seized operations and sold it to a group of investors. They sold the company.
So it's just like, job well done, my nigga. And while we thinking they, suffer any kind of punishment, they really was rewarded. Basically they was rewarded. They got money. They sold the company for whatever parts they played into the Kobe incident. I'm pretty sure they was rewarded. You gotta be a dummy to think otherwise. Remember, family, this is just how they drew it up. Notice that the tweet came from his account at 10:50 p.m. They said the Nigerians helicopter crash just after 10. So that's why they having speculations that Joe Biden had something to do with it in America. But we all know this is a worldwide play. This is the New World Order. Everybody got a part in this shit.
The draconian reptilian stronghold is America. And the major two energy points that they are using to manipulate everybody is Atlanta and Los Angeles. They are using frequency. Nigga, they are using literal frequency towers, nigga, to make you think this shit is here that ain't even here, nigga. What if I told you that it's two major energy power points in Atlanta and LA, that they big ass towers, and that if you was to cut them towers off, this entire reality would vanish from front of your face. You would see the real reality. That would fuck you up, wouldn't it? You couldn't believe no shit like that, but guess what? It's true. It's true. This is a holograph image you're all around you. And if we was to go to this point in Atlanta and to that point in LA, and it was to cut those towers off, my nigga, you would not see this holographic image. You wouldn't see those 5 holographic skies that's stopping you from seeing the real celestial beings and the real celestial body around you. You have no clue what you are living in.